Welcome everybody. This is Adventures of the Spleeninator. I am your host with the most, Tyro Attar.
I am Kaz Odok, the new great and powerful dungeon master.
This is Reddy, the former and now completely obsolete and powerless dungeon master.
And now the janitor.
That's disposable pilot guy over there.
No, I resent that name.
Alright.
You were the one that was spreading the name to everyone else, or at least preventing us from knowing your real name.
I think I actually started the name and then it just stuck.
You did, but that was because he hid his character's real name.
Alright, back on subject. So, 2 weeks ago, we started the new campaign. And we have Kaz Odok over here, who is dungeon mastering it for us. And so, actually, Kaz, why don't you tell us a little bit about the campaign?
Well, it's no longer Star Wars, now it's 4th edition D&D. And I stole all the names of everything from Guild Wars.
We noticed.
Yes.
And some from Skyrim.
I have never played Guild
Oh,
Wars, and I
And Link.
recognize
Don't
all
forget
of
Zelda.
those names.
Legend of Zelda. You stole a lot from that. Like Ganondorf.
Oh, Ganondorf.
Well, that's a combination of Ganondorf and Gandalf.
Ganondorf.
They are Knights of Mordnin, trying to defeat the great wizard Ganondorf.
Who stole a princess.
No, that was Bowser.
And she's in another castle.
Another
Yes.
castle.
Because Prince Rurik, the leader of the Knights of Mordnin, is going to rescue Princess Zoja from Bowser's castle.
Can I just say right up front, in case any of you are wondering, he described Prince Rurik, the leader of the Knights of Morgnan, as though he's this heroic figure. He is the fantasy version of Zap Brannigan, wearing a crown and riding a unicorn.
Yes.
Which sounds
You
exactly like
spooked
Zap Brannigan.
Felicity!
Okay. Wait, can we talk about Futurama? Is that copyright?
No. You can talk about it as long as you're not trying to impede it or, do anything like that. Trying to steal it and use things from it to further your own cash. So basically, if we were selling t-shirts, then we would owe Futurama and Star Wars, all that, some money or something.
Thank God we're not making
Please
money.
buy our new Futurama t-shirts.
With Star Wars print on them.
Yes.
And Ganondorf on the front.
Oh, I did mean to ask. So, we noticed that our other player, he's got a strange brand. Can
Yes,
you?
I think his character is female, actually. So
Yes.
she has a brand.
She has a strange.
He's a guy playing a female character.
Yeah. So this character has a brand on her chest that apparently is very familiar to.
Wait. I just now realized. We saw her chest? Booyah!
Okay.
She's a dragon.
Yeah, dragon tits. Woohoo!
That's
Dragon tits, man!
Okay. The people underground seem to recognize this symbol. Is that
Yes.
significant?
So we should probably clarify that they are on a quest. They have been told to find a. They've been told by the Emperor to go into these under the city to like the ancient ruins to find this tribe that's living down there.
But it's haunted ancient ruins.
Yes.
They built
They're
the
cursed.
city on cursed ruins. It's the equivalent of building New York City on top of Indian burial grounds.
They're there to find a spell, and so far what the players have been told is that these people seem to have that this tribe down there seem to have some kind of agreement with the Emperor, and they claim that they're protecting the city.
They claim that they're protecting the city in exchange for isolation, but then they also sort of kidnapped us.
There was a little bit of
Yes.
contradiction.
Oh,
involved.
wait. Before we get too far in, we should probably explain why we haven't released any of these recently.
We should also get into why I swallowed an eyeball.
Yeah, but first, We were gone at Comic-Con, and the week before that,
We were all sick.
we were all sick. So that's the reason why haven't made any of these recently.
Comic-Con is awesome, by the way. You should go.
Comic-Con is like nerd nirvana. So it's like nerdvana.
You might think some days that like it's not cool to dress up, but no, you go there and everybody's dressed up, and you dress up and everybody's complimenting you, and it's awesome, and you're like, I feel like I should be ashamed of what I'm wearing, but I'm not, and it's great because everybody accepts me for it.
Well, it helps that you were wearing a slutty Harley Quinn costume.
That
Yeah.
was a mistake.
Yeah, that you could be ashamed of.
Luckily, there were no pictures taken.
That you've seen.
Yeah, other people might have taken pictures, but
I hope there were pictures taken because I wasn't there and I really want to see those pictures.
pervert.
You want to see this? Oh my god.
Oh,
Not
okay.
for that reason, just because I want to see if it was actually true.
Do you
Okay.
want to see my balls outlined in the tights?
Yes.
Okay. Before this becomes way too crass to put up on YouTube, let's go ahead and explain a little bit about Master Wizard Aemon of the Spire.
You actually invented him. He was from.
Yeah. I created him in our previous Dungeons and Dragons campaign. He is a mad wizard. He might as well. We don't know if he's like supposed to be the all-powerful wizard of the universe. So far, we've seen him do things that no other wizard could.
Most of which relate to experiments on rabbits.
Yeah, he's
For
got this
rabbits.
weird thing for rabbits. He keeps experimenting on rabbits, turning them into flamethrowers and bats and spider monsters and his own familiars, of course.
That's where I got the eyeball.
In our previous campaign, he sometimes helped us. He would teleport us to faraway locations, or he would give us secrets that we would need to, crack into a dungeon or a tomb or something like that. Why don't you explain a little bit about how you brought him into this campaign?
So back to the story. When they found that tribe that was living under the city in the ancient ruins, they were captured by them. The tribe found a cloak that looked kind of ghostly with a brooch on it that had a symbol that was also branded onto the chest of Gretel, who is the Dragonborn who's
Gretel.
not here.
Wait, is that her name?
Yeah.
Gretel.
I didn't know that.
Where have you
I
been?
say that every time. I say, it's Gretel's turn. And
I never picked up on that.
What did you think we were calling her?
I didn't know.
Well, it helps that you don't actually have a name.
Yeah, I'm unspecified. Sometimes I'll take on stupid names like Twitterman or what was the
Anyway.
name from our Star Wars campaign that I was using?
You were using Twitter.
No.
Attar?
No, it was the one that I took from the ghostly guy that tried to get me to drink from the wells. Was it Twitterman?
Oh, was it Cashman?
No, it wasn't Cashman. That was you.
Oh, Twitterman was the dude who tried to get you to drink
Okay,
from the
Twitterman.
well.
Yeah, sometimes I would take on stupid names like Twitterman or come up with something.
Okay. You
anyway,
need a name.
so they were captured by this tribe that lived down there. And Eamon shows up, this blind old wizard guy who's got a rabbit flamethrower.
Looks pretty beast, by the way.
For whatever reason, this tribe is perfectly happy, or is not happy to
They're
have
not
him.
They don't
happy
look
at
happy.
all.
No,
They really
but for
don't.
whatever reason, they respect him and are.
I think it's more likely that they're just afraid of him.
That seems much more like
They're terrified that at any moment he's going to
They,
unleash
res-
the bunnies.
they respect or fear him in whatever way, and for whatever reason, they're not fighting him. They just kind of accept him being there. He takes the players to his house and has them slay some bunny spiders.
That got away. Okay, you gotta understand, when he shows up, he has a rigid bunny that breathes fire. And this is what he
It's a bunny flamethrower.
This is what he considers a successful experiment. When he gets there, he says he needs our help to clean up some experiments that went weird.
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 This weird turned out to be giant pink spiders with the bodies and heads of bunnies and eyeballs made of lightning. Also, whenever you cut them apart, they just grow spider legs out of the wounds.
No, they grow human parts
No,
out
they
of it.
grow human arms. And no, that didn't happen when nothing happened when they were cut apart. one of their arms fell off when it was trying to slap someone.
So it was like a costume.
I don't
almost.
know.
It was pretty weird.
They were trying to cosplay.
So when he said that those experiments went weird, he was really serious. Those are weird.
And this is just before he gave, what's your character's name?
Uranus?
Yeah, he gave Reddy's character, whose name is Uranus, walking bunny slippers.
See, I imagine that at some point that's going to come in handy, because you slip them on your feet and they drive. I imagine we're going to get lost in a maze at some point. I'm just going to slip on these bunny slippers and they're going to know the way out somehow.
You're just gonna get to sleep as they walk their way.
Yeah. And then he's telling me that while these bunny slippers are in my bag, they're probably going to eat their way out of my bag, or eat what's in my bag. So I say, okay, I'll find some other way to keep them. He says, no, that's all right. I'll just turn your backpack into a living bunny backpack.
And it keeps your hair nice and trimmed.
So now I have a living bunny backpack that talks to me in soothing tones and contains these walking bunny slippers.
So it's like a bunny within a bunny within an RPG.
I'm just not sure how you took this bunny fascination and ran with it to everything bunny. It's like
Oh, tell
my
about the
dream
staff.
come true.
Tell them about the staff.
Okay,
What's his name?
disposable pilot guy's character, whose name no one ever bothers to remember.
It's
It's
something
a really long, weird name.
It's
Pakwook.
Pakwook.
Packwook.
He's a
living.
cleric.
He's a living automaton cleric.
And he asked Eamon for if he could get like a magical staff. I think he wanted some other kind of staff.
He was
But he ended up-
expecting to get like an implement staff that would
Yeah.
focus his divine powers.
Instead,
Super
he ended up getting a staff with a hyperactive bunny head on the end that can see in the dark, and
It's very excitable.
yes,
Wait a minute. What do you mean excitable?
I mean, you wake it up and it just starts talking and never ever shuts up.
How cool
No,
would it be
it
if you could get something
stops.
like that in Skyrim? Just like you pull out your staff and there's a talking bunny head.
it stops talking to you when you want it to stop. It just is really hyperactive while you're talking to it.
Yeah, absolute insanity. So we took all of these things and now we ask Eamon, hey, we're here for a spell that will take us to the Shadowfell. Do you know any spells like that? He says, oh yeah, of course. Can we have one? Oh no. Session ends. So you extended this session a little bit. You had only planned to the part where Eamon sort of rescued us from certain execution and painful death by subterranean weirdos.
They're not
Weird weirdos.
They're Vikings.
They're weirdos.
Yes.
That was how far you planned. Let me just ask, was it a failure on my part to convince the subterranean weirdos to part with the Shadowfell spell, or was there really no way to get it from them?
What do you mean? Was it a failure to convince them to part with it?
Yeah.
They were not intended to part with it. They were not intended to tell you the spell.
Oh.
Just
were
like we were
intended-
not intended to win the fight earlier.
You were intended to go to Eamon.
Okay. Alright. See, my character a lot of the time serves the role of negotiator just because...
You did in the last game.
Well, mostly I've done it in this game too. When we were bluffing our way through the dungeon last week, we had some fun adventures there. I tend to play the negotiator role in our campaigns just because I can say the most, kissing up and BSing at any given moment.
God, I hate his character for it.
Yeah. It doesn't make my character very well liked, but it gets us out of a lot of certain death situations.
And then there's me that can never roll a d20 for crap.
Yeah, his character is really funny because he's chained to a wall. He tells the guards, hey, want to see a magic trick, and turns invisible. He thinks that they will believe he's teleported and unlatch his chains.
I didn't know what I was thinking. I was just going to show him a magic trick.
So of
Yeah.
course he ends up throttled, and
Yeah, throttled and straddled at the same time.
Well, your character is a genderless deva. I don't really think that was entering.
I'm
your
like a
mind.
Ken doll.
But yeah, that was fun watching him get strangled.
It was fun. Like, they're sitting there strangling me, and I'm just like, I was just trying to show you a magic trick. They didn't buy it.
And
Well,
of
he didn't
course-
even speak your language.
Yeah, they're talking. What was that language?
The only one that talked common was your.
The executioner.
He wasn't the executioner. He was
He
like the lead-
walked
he
in
was
with
the
a
leader.
giant great axe. What else was he supposed to be?
He was a Viking guy. They all have giant axes and swords and stuff. He was the leader of the group.
Okay, fine.
That's why he was like smarter than everyone else, and he learned other languages.
He's overcompensating.
Yes.
Did you ever notice though that while these guards are strangling your character, they're talking in their native language, and you, on top of being strangled and having no way to fight back, you say, "I don't talk idiot, please talk normal."
No. Okay, so I think my exact words were, like, as soon as they started mumbling, things got a little out of control, and I was just like, hey, you, guard, I'm not fluent in idiot. Speak slower. And, well, that didn't go over too well. I ended up, like, getting kidney punched or something.
He didn't get upset that you were insulting him because he didn't know.
Oh,
what
yeah,
you were
he didn't understand
He
what I
didn't
was
know what
talking
you were
about.
saying.
Thank God.
Yeah, you.
My 7'2" Deva would have gotten his butt handed to him. Oh,
Yeah.
my purple sweet butt. It's so smooth
And genderless.
and genderless.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what a genderless purple man would look like now.
Okay.
Let's not get into details about that. So, as a question then to our dungeon master, what can we look forward to in the next couple of sessions? What sort of ideas do you have that won't spoil too much?
Purple horror stories.
Less purple hole.
I have a pretty good idea of what I may or may not do for the next session. It may be a very big part of the story, or it may be kind of a continuation of what's going on. It depends on how quickly I want certain things to happen. And I'm not saying much because it's like hard to say it without giving
Well,
away.
we appreciate the restraint. It's a lot better to have no idea what's coming than to have it completely spoiled.
It's kind of like listening to Meryl from The Walking Dead while we were at Comic-Con. Like, the
Michael
guy...
Rooker?
Yeah, Michael Rooker. And the guy would ask Michael Rooker a question about The Walking Dead, and somehow Rooker would just, like, divert the question into talking more about how awesome Meryl is. Like, he would never answer a single question.
That's
At all.
smart.
That's because he could get in a ton of trouble for
Anyway,
talking about
I
it.
feel like Kaz over here is sitting here diverting the question, not answering what could possibly be revealed in the next few sessions.
Well, it's good. We don't want it spoiled for us, and we don't want it spoiled for our audience.
Ugh, I'm so impatient.
So, I don't know if we told you much about our new characters. Maybe you would like to start over there at
My
with
character?
your new character. Explain a little bit about who they are.
I'm a god, basically. No, I'm not a god. I'm an immortal Deva from 3,456 years ago. That was when I, like, fell out of heaven or something. I don't know. I was reborn. Yeah, that light at the end of the tunnel, it's just another vagina. Don't get your hopes up. Anyway, so I'm a giant purple dude. I'm, like, 340-some pounds. I'm 7'2". I'm a wizard, so I get to cast lots of magical spells that cause harm to fellow players as well.
Yeah, you're not very good about friendly fire.
Well, it doesn't really bother me when it gets the job done now, does it? I can heal you, Paul. Heck, I could cast up a shield around you if I wanted to before I casted these spells, but
Oh,
Doesn't
thanks
really matter
for all
to
the
me.
consideration.
hey, I would sooner push you into that hole with the cold, wet, dark growling than to, like, save any of you.
I know.
You're all, like, useless mortals to me, so...
You realize you haven't even mentioned the hole with the cold, wet, dark growling is what you called it.
There was, like, a giant hole.
Outside of Eamon's house, or his cave inside the caves, is a...
His caviest of caves.
Yes.
His
It's a giant hole in the ground. You can't. It's really dark, and there is what sounds like the breathing of something absolutely gigantic down there.
It's a big hole.
Yeah.
So we didn't really want to go too near to that.
Its breathing creates wind that just goes back and forth through the room.
I really wanted to throw one of the pink spider creatures down there and see what would happen, but then I realized, what happens if whatever's down there like wakes up and decides to crawl out of this hole? We didn't really want to deal with that.
Well, we do have Eamon, like, in the next house. All he has to do is sneeze and the thing's dead, right?
Well, like, who's to say it isn't like his pet? Who wants to kill their own pet? Would you kill your dog? No.
Well, then Eamon would just tell it, sit, boy.
Maybe. Or maybe he just wants to laugh at all of our misery.
He can't see. What's there to laugh at?
The mental image he's getting from the growling and gnashing of teeth and breaking of bones and tearing of flesh.
Let's go back to characters. You know.
Okay. Disposable pilot guy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Packwook?
He's lame.
Packwook
He's
is
short.
a living construct, and considering they're living, I decided to make her female for the fun of it.
Metal vaginas.
Metal
I didn't
vaginas.
even know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that. And
I thought you. I didn't think your character
was female.
had a gender.
They don't really.
Well, they don't really have a gender, but like your crystal and your voice is different usually. I'm a Reluk, which are basically big dwarven constructs that are like usually thousands of years old or something, and
I'm older.
they have brains that are basically crystals inside. Well, no, the brains are in their body, but the crystal on top of their head controls like what kind of armor they have and whatnot. And so you can swap it out for different, stronger crystals, and it gives you better, stronger, metal. Basically, if I put what's a really tough mineral?
Well, why don't you tell them a little bit about your character and your backstory?
I was having fun talking about my race.
I didn't have
Okay.
a backstory or personality.
My character was built by the dwarves for a war thousands of years ago, who was awakened by the other female person in our party. I can't remember.
Dragon
Gretel.
sugar tits.
Yeah, Gretel, who is a dragonborn who, as a baby, like a really baby, considering they become adults at a very young age, came and found me and, accidentally turned me on. Okay, that just sounds wrong.
It was an accident,
Accidentally
really.
Activated you.
Activated me. Or turned me on. Because,
Okay.
girls turn me on, I'm just saying.
So you were activated by the Dragonborn. You two have grown up best friends.
Yeah, well, more like the Dragonborn's grown up best friends than me.
More like
I haven't grown up.
lesbians.
I haven't grown up, been existent for thousands of years. There's
Or
no
you can
growing up.
smell the lesbian stench on them.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about?
That's offensive.
Well,
You're
I was gonna
offensive.
ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask Alvin a little bit about Gretel, but he doesn't play Gretel.
I don't play Gretel.
Okay, so then I'll just tell you a little bit about Aranis.
Gretel is the dragonborn.
Sugar tits.
Yes.
He's Navarog's character. So my character, Aranis, is a descendant of a powerful, noble bloodline from our previous D&D campaign. He's an Eladrin. He is trying to reclaim the glory of his house, a house that really no longer exists with the new regime. He was a warlord. He was trying to do good, but he ended up slaughtering an entire village of goblins. Babies, mothers, all sorts of nastiness.
It was all an accident.
And don't say too much of your personal story.
Oh, right. So some stuff happened. He ended up at the castle at Ascalon, joined up with the rest of these guys, Gretel and Packwook, and Unspecified over there. And
Put him in.
they all rescued Prince Rurik and his squire. They were made knights of the Order of Morgnan, but my character has steadily gone into this decline where he meant to reclaim glory, but it's just become like a lust for power. He's just trying to grab whatever strength, whatever authority he can.
And you're not required to. You can be whatever kind of character you want to be.
Yeah.
Don't tell us that.
Our dungeon master is very gracious and lets us use our own creativity.
Ha!
Unlike-
So suck it, all you other dungeon masters that are dicks to your players.
Unlike a few other dungeon masters we've met.
Anyway,
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about your ex-dungeon master.
Oh, okay. My ex. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a real piece of work.
Disposable pilot guy recently left a D&D group that the dungeon master for that group was kind of not pleasant to work with.
Is it okay if I say some bad words?
No.
No.
If we're putting it up on YouTube, we can't have a content warning.
I am just going to.
Do you want
say
Nathan to be able to watch
some-
this?
I'm gonna say some things like exclamation point, number symbol.
Just say expletive deleted.
Yeah, expletive deleted.
There you go.
Lots of that everywhere. He's a very expletive deleted.
Okay.
A very expletive deleted.
So what we know
It's a
about
very big expletive deleted.
Gretel so far.
Not
Gretel
much, actually.
is
I
a
know everything about Gretel.
dragonborn
Told me their backstory.
barbarian lady. She awoke Hackwolf when she was very young. They've grown up together. She has so far proven to be the most destructive member of our group after our friendly fire wizard.
The friendly fire wizard.
And
We should call me Friendly Fire Freeman.
She's
She's a barbarian.
She's apparently on the best terms with the Emperor out of all of us.
Well, not considering, the Emperor branded her on the chest.
Hey,
we
you
don't
never
know
know.
that.
That could be a good thing. That might have been him claiming her as his own.
Wait a minute.
I'm not there to judge.
The Emperor branded her?
Yeah.
Where have I been?
Asleep for thousands of years.
she said the Emperor had branded
Yeah, that's
her, and
me.
She
Well,
had a
she
brand on her
claimed
chest.
that the Emperor branded her. We don't know who did it. We didn't see.
Is it really polite to be saying she? I mean, it's played by a guy.
The character is a girl. I'm not
It just
call-
doesn't feel right calling Navarog a girl.
It's you have someone who's playing a character that's a different gender. You have to call them something.
Just be like me next time and pick a unisex.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm
I'm
unisex.
so smooth.
I'm so rough.
Okay.
When we combine, we create love.
That made no sense.
Well, it looks like we might be running down on time. So, does anyone have any closing remarks?
There's a lot of stuff going on that we can't really talk much about because it's individual characters.
Yeah, we're keeping our own individual stories pretty private from the others.
Are you guys gonna be watching this video on YouTube?
Who?
You guys.
Well, duh.
Yeah?
I always watch our videos.
Oh.
I don't.
Well, that's lame. I was gonna totally take time and reveal all of our big backstory secrets to the.
You don't
Our-
know all of our big backstories.
No, but if we were all to leave the room and then you say yours, you leave, and one of us comes in.
One of the people in the group is going to see it at some point at that time.
Ah, that's so lame.
No.
I kind of want them to get a little bit more in depth to our characters.
Why don't we just have our favorite, dungeon master, not you, over there? Yeah.
Let's just say I'm a Martin Luther King Jr. wannabe.
Okay. Let's just have our favorite dungeon master go through and spill it on the internet.
Let's not.
Okay.
Alright.
guys.
Thank you for watching yet another of our adventures.
Futurama rocks!
Our adventures of the Spleeninator.
Oh, by the way, should we really be calling it the Adventures of the Spleeninator if it's out of the Star Wars universe now? Should we
Yes.
even have the rolling credits in the background?
Yes.
That's so anti.
It's an identifying mark. It's how people know who we are.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we
other
need, like, a
web
symbol.
series
We
change
have
their
a
symbols
symbol.
all the time.
You can put something else in the background probably to match the fantasy stuff.
Okay, then we should put a Link battle scene
like
going
the,
on.
we should put the Triforce corrupted with some
Also,
sort of Futurama.
I should say, do any of you have preferences as to what monstrous evil things you want to fight?
Not scorpions or evil.
Okay,
Or
skeletons, zombies, and spiders.
No Minecraft villain.
Wait a minute.
Dang it.
Hold on a second. We forgot to go over evil.
Evil the Goo.
Yes, it was a slime, and our dungeon master was trying to figure out a name for it instead of ooze.
I didn't try to figure out.
Okay,
I just
video
wrote
over.
something on the coin that I was using to symbolize where it was,
Okay,
and I wrote
I have an
evil.
idea. You want an opinion for
Yes.
what enemies we should be fighting? I say, no more mindless enemies. I want to fight some bandits.
You want to fight some bandits.
Yeah.
Bandits.
Yeah, bandits.
Bandits are stupid.
Bandits are freaking awesome. Bandits are the best.
Dude, we need to fight some human bandits.
Yeah, human bandits.
Remember when I tried to curb stomp that guard?
That was ugly. Okay,
I'll
before we get more in detail with that,
I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Future rocks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.